in the cluttered, spotlit attic of a crooked house on the edge of the forgotten town of Gearsborough, where the wind whistled through broken chimneys and the streets were paved with cobblestones cracked by roots and regret, there lived a 12-year-old girl named Penny Sparks, whose mind worked like a clock wound to tie-ticking with ideas, spinning with gears, humming with a kind of brilliance that made teachers sigh and classmates whisper behind their hands. She didn't fit in school, not because she was dull, but because she was too bright, her answers arriving before the questions were fully asked. Her science projects exploding in controlled mostly ways, her notebooks filled not with doodles, but with schematics for devices that didn't exist. A rainbow harvester to bottle sunlight, a dream siphon to record nightmares, a gravity scarf that let you float like dandelion fluff. The townspeople called her odd, eccentric, a bit touched, too much like her father. They'd mutter, referring to Dr. Elias Sparks, a once-celebrated inventor who had vanished 5 years ago, under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind only blueprints scorched at the edges and a single journal entry that read, "Ivy found the flaw in time, and it's recursive." Penny didn't care what they said. She believed in invention the way others believed in prayer. Every morning she woke at 4:17 a.m. Her clock was self-adjusting and synced to solar flares, brewed tea in a kettle that boiled water using friction from spinning gears, and climbed to her attic workshop, a room so packed with wires, lenses, humming coils, and half-built contraptions that it looked like a storm had exploded inside a hardware store. There, she built the incredible inventions that would, one day, change the world. Or so she thought. Her first major success was the emotion compass, a brass device with swirling vials of colored liquid that pointed not north, but toward the strongest feeling in any room: love, fear, regret, joy. She tested it at the town fair, where it spun wildly toward the old baker, Mr. Hobb, revealing he still grieved his wife every time he needed dough. He wept.
The crowd was stunned.
Next came the memory lantern, which, when lit, projected holograms of forgotten moments. Children saw their grandparents young. Lovers saw their first kiss replayed in golden light. It was beautiful. It was dangerous. And then, the time-turner toaster, which didn't just toast bread, aged it backward or forward, so you could eat bread from yesterday or tomorrow. Tomorrow's toast was slightly metallic, but edible. The town began to take notice. Reporters came. Investors offered money. A tech giant from the city sent a sleek black car to take her away. But Penny refused. "I'm not done," she said, tightening a screw on a new machine shaped like a spinning top with wings. "I'm building something bigger." And she was, in secret, beneath a false floor in the attic. She had been constructing her magnum opus, the Chrono-Loom, a device designed to weave threads of time into a tapestry of possible futures, allowing its user to see every choice before making it. She believed it would end war, prevent accidents, stop heartbreak. She worked on it every night, fueled by peanut butter sandwiches and cold starlights, guided by fragments of her father's journal and the strange recurring dream in which he stood at the edge of a clock face, mouthing, "Don't finish it." But she didn't listen. On the night of the Great Gearsborough storm, when lightning split the sky and the river threatened to swallow the lower town, Penny activated the Chrono-Loom. The attic filled with light, not electric, not solar, but something older, purer. Threads of silver and gold spun from the machine, twisting into a shimmering web that showed not one future, but thousands. Penny winning Nobel Prizes, Penny vanishing into a rift, Penny causing a black hole with a miscalculation, Penny hugging her father in a sunlit garden. She reached for the thread labeled "Father Returns" and pulled. The machine screamed. The house shook. The web collapsed into a single beam of light that struck her chest, and in that instant, Penny didn't just see the future, she remembered it. The twist was not that the Chrono-Loom worked, but that Penny had already lived this moment hundreds of times. She wasn't the inventor. She was the reset. 5 years ago, her father hadn't vanished. He had completed the Chrono-Loom, and when he used it to find a future where his daughter lived past the age of 12, a future where she was consumed by the machine, energy, he discovered only one path: to erase her memory, embed the device in her subconscious, and make her rebuild it over and over, in the hope that one day she would do it differently. Every invention she'd ever made, the compass, the lantern, the toaster, were not steps toward the loom, but memories of past attempts, her mind instinctively recreating the pieces, the dreams of her father. Echoes of real warnings. The reason she woke at 4:17. The exact time the machine had first collapsed. And the flaw in time? It wasn't in the universe. It was in her. The Chrono-Loom didn't show the future. It created a loop. And she was the anchor. Every time she activated it, she burned out her own mind and reset to childhood. Her brilliance a programmed reboot, her inventions a desperate attempt to break the cycle. But this time, this stormlit nights, something changed. Instead of grabbing the thread of her father's return, she saw another Penny at 13, alive, free. And she chose it. With a scream of effort, she ripped the power core from the Chrono-Loom and threw it into the storm. Lightning struck it mid-air. The machine dissolved into light. The loop broke. When Penny awoke the next morning, the attic was silent. The inventions were gone, melted or vanished. Her notebooks were blank, and she couldn't remember how to build a toaster. But she remembered her father. She remembered the truth. And on her nightstand, she found a new sketch, crude, childlike, drawn in red crayon. A girl and a man holding hands beneath a tree, with the words, "This time, I stay." The town said the storm had destroyed her workshop. They said she'd never invent again. But Penny didn't mind. She walked to the park, sat beneath an oak, and watched the clouds. For the first time in countless lifetimes, she felt the sun on her face, not as dado, not as energy to be harnessed, but as warmth, as joy, as now. The greatest invention Penny Sparks ever made wasn't a machine. It was a life unlived, a future unchained, and the quiet, revolutionary act of choosing to be ordinary so she could finally be free.